watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. Susan is off today. Happy first Friday of 2026, everyone. I hope the new year is off to a good start for everyone. Well, sunshine sure helps. Sunny skies today, but it is cold out. Warmer weather is on the way. That sounds pretty good, Jacob.
Yeah, definitely going to see those milder temperatures next week, but it is still certainly on the cold side today. But as you mentioned, the good news is that it is sunny, and the other good news is that the winds have been very calm today, so wind chills pretty close to the actual temperatures. But those actual temperatures are struggling to get to 20 across Dane County, a few counties in or right around 20, and this is the case for much of the area, middle teens further off to the north. Now, tomorrow will feature similar temperatures, but again, it is going to warm up for next week. But before it does, we do have another small chance of some snow. Not going to happen this evening, but I do want to point out the evening temperatures are going to be very steady, and those steady temperatures are going to continue overnight. So tomorrow morning won't be as cold as this morning, but the afternoon should be pretty similar. Now, as we take a look at that chance of snow, we are going to see it move in much later in the night as clouds will increase throughout the evening, and then just some light flurries are expected later in the night and into early Saturday morning. I don't expect to see much of any accumulation, maybe a half inch at most, but this is not going to be a big issue, and much of the area may not see any of these snow flurries at all, and they're going to clear up very quickly tomorrow with dry but cloudy skies tomorrow. And as I mentioned, temperatures pretty similar, maybe a few degrees warmer, but still in that lower 20 range. A lot of the day will feature temperatures in the teens, but 30s are possible by Sunday, and then maybe 40s at times next week. So I'll talk more about that and show you a few other precipitation chances coming up a little bit later.
Thank you, Jacob. Let's take a live look at Lake Mendota, which officially froze over yesterday. That's later than the median freeze date of December 20th. Scientists say this continues a tradition of tough-to-predict freezing. Lake Monona froze over back on December 12th. More than 19,000 people tried to guess the date for the Mendota Freeze contest this year. 22 people got it right. The Clean Lakes Alliance will now randomly pull 3 winners. Madison police say they've arrested 4 teenagers after a drone helped them find them when they ran from a stolen vehicle. Wednesday night at about 11, a sergeant saw a car run a red light. When they tried to pull the car over, it sped off through nearby parking lots and eventually slid off the road, crashing into some shrubs. 4 teenagers then ran from the car into a nearby wooded area, but a drone quickly found them all. Police say they arrested 4 teenage boys, age 13 to 16. They're now facing charges of operating without owner's consent and criminal damage to property or party to a crime. Cleanup continues after a semi crashed into a ditch near County Highway N along I-3990. This happened at about 2:30 this morning. The semi crashed into a pole at the northbound on-ramp near McFarland. The pole had fallen over onto the semi cab, trapping the driver inside. Crews shut down power to the lines attached to the pole, along with that ramp and the 2 right lanes. Crews safely pulled the driver from the vehicle. Officials say the driver is in stable condition and was taken to a nearby hospital. Lane closures are expected to last through the weekend. An alternate route would be Highway 73 north up to 1218 west and back to I-3990. Well, if you're itching to head back to the farmers market, you won't need to wait very long. Our Maya Tate met with the assistant market manager for the Dane County Farmers Market to learn more about the upcoming winter farmers market. Maya?
Yeah, Brady, the Winter Farmers Market is back this weekend at the Garver Feed Mill, and you might see some familiar summer favorites. Stella's Bakery, Westridge Organic Farm, and Renaissance Farm are just a few you may see. But aside from grabbing some of your favorite items, Rachel Figueroa from the Dane County Farmers Market says that shopping local helps keep business in Dane County and the food system running.
A lot of our small-scale farmers don't have many opportunities to sell their produce during the winter, so it's really important to come out to the Winter Farmers Market each week so that they can make a living throughout these months.
Figueroa also says that shopping at the Winter Farmers Market is more personal than just running to the store. Instead, you can chat with vendors and learn about their products. Every Dane County Farmers Market also offers the use of SNAP and EBT services to ensure that everyone can buy local goods. The market runs now until April 4th from 8 a.m. to noon in the main event space at the Garver Feed Mill. For a full list of vendors each week, you can check out the Dane County Farmers Market social media or newsletter.
Sounds good. Thank you, Maya. Madison could soon become an even more bike-friendly place with a new plan to connect two major bike routes on the city's south side. According to reporting from Wisconsin Public Radio, the city is looking at plans to link the Cannonball and Wingra Creek paths by adding a median-separated bike lane along Fish Hatchery Road, which sees about 30,000 cars a day. City engineers say the long-planned project would improve safety and close a key gap in the bike network. Construction could begin as early as the summer, pending city approvals. The Wisconsin Better Business Bureau says the new year is a good time to reset your finances after all that holiday spending, right? The BBB recommends setting clear savings and debt reduction goals, reviewing credit card balances and your subscriptions, and creating a written budget. Consumers are also urged to research businesses and side hustles on bbb.org to avoid scams. The BBB says small changes now can lead to stronger financial stability all year long. It was a big year in the Wisconsin legislature, with lawmakers coming together from both sides of the aisle to reach an agreement on the state budget. But the willingness of both parties to come to the table on some issues wasn't enough to get one piece of legislation passed. In the Assembly's final floor session of 2025, Speaker Robin Vos essentially blocked legislation to expand postpartum Medicaid coverage. That bipartisan effort would have extended coverage for new moms to 1 year after giving birth. Currently, Wisconsin is one of two states that does not have expanded coverage. In year-ender interviews with the Speaker and the Assembly's minority leader, political reporter Ellie LaLiberte asked why Speaker Vos blocked the legislation and what Democrats think should happen next.
So we have done a really good job providing a social safety net already in Wisconsin. I think the idea of expanding welfare might feel good, but in the end, it's not good for the mom, it's not good for society, and it's certainly not the best interest of the state of Wisconsin.
My hope is that his caucus, our Republican colleagues, will push on him to say, this is something that the people of Wisconsin want, it's the right thing to do, and we can't allow this to stall any longer.
You can see the full interviews, including whether Speaker Vos thinks the legislature will take up expanding Medicaid for new mothers again in the new year, this Sunday on For the Record. That airs at 10:30 a.m. right after CBS News Face the Nation. Next on Live at 4, Josh is in the 608 showing you what we have in store for the weekend. And then it's go time for the Packers, or well, maybe not so much this Sunday. We'll hear more from Coach LaFleur on how he wants to win this game, but there are some limitations. And Jacob is back with a check of the first warn forecast. The sun is out today, that's good news, but the cold is cutting through. He'll show us when things could warm up.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, you know what day it is. Say it with me. It's Friday, which means we're gearing up for the weekend in the 608. Josh Spreiter is in the studio with the Weekend Planner.
We're looking forward to the first weekend in the 608 of the new year. Here are my 3 things to do. If you're still in the holiday spirit, there's still time to check out the 29th Annual Holiday Light Show at the Rotary Botanical Gardens in Janesville. The last day is Saturday, January 3rd. You can expect more than 2 million twinkling lights across their 20 acres of festive displays. Organizers say it's a magical, family-friendly tradition supporting the garden's mission. On Saturday, join your favorite farmers at the first Dane County Winter Market of the year. This is at Garver Feed Mill in Madison. Shoppers can support more than 50 local farmers, cheesemakers, and bakers while picking up weekly groceries. Enjoy the sights, smells, and flavors of fresh local foods, all while staying warm inside during this Wisconsin winter. The Winter Farmers Market runs every Saturday from January 3rd through April 4th. On Sunday, a family nature walk is happening at the UW-Madison Arboretum. This is a fun way for families to explore the natural world together. Adults must attend with their kids, and organizers recommend those sturdy closed-toe shoes and dressing for the weather. The walk is free with no registration required. Families should meet at the Visitor Center at 1:30 in the afternoon. For more happenings this weekend in the 608, just go to channel3000.com. For In the 608, I'm Josh Spreiter.
Thank you, Josh. Even though it's sunny today, it's not exactly warm. That is going to change, though, soon. The First Warn Weather Team is tracking a warm-up. Jacob, how warm will our temperatures get?
Well, we could see some areas get to the lower 40s, and it's not just the temperatures that will change, because we also will actually see a little bit more cloud cover when we do see those temperatures warm up for next week. Still some sunshine, but not as much sun as today. So looking at the three things you need to know, still going to be cool to end the week tomorrow with highs in the 20s. Some light precipitation this weekend, kind of in the form of snow and also maybe some snow to freezing rain mix. So it's not necessarily going to be just snow or just rain. And then as we get towards next week, we will see those mild temperatures begin moving in. Now, before I talk about any of this, I do want to mention that we've seen some light snow the last couple of days, and with obviously with the snow that we saw earlier in the winter time in December and late November, we had already had a decent amount of snowfall, and with the snow recently, we have now already passed the amount of snow that we've seen all of last year, and it's already January 2nd. Now, this does include the October through April time frame, so not just the winter season, but we've had about 23.5 inches of snow since November. Last year from October through April, we only had 22. So already well past then, and it's likely going to continue to expand compared to last year, maybe getting closer to 2 years ago and then 3 years ago if the season continues to produce a lot of snow. But there's not a ton of snow in the forecast. Here's a look at the small chances of it over the next couple of days. Cloudy skies overnight, some light flurries passing through. Probably not going to see much in terms of snowfall tonight. Most of the area may not even see any snow at all. And this will be late tonight into tomorrow morning, clearer by the time, or not necessarily clear, but we'll still see cloudy skies, but not going to see that snow later in the day tomorrow. And then we could see some spots of clearer skies at times tomorrow night into Sunday, but still a good amount of cloud cover. And then that will continue for most of Sunday before we do see a little bit of a better chance of precipitation move through later in the day Sunday. This time it will be in the form of some snow and some freezing rain, kind of a mix of both as the system passes through. Could see some accumulation across central and northern Wisconsin, but right now southern Wisconsin not expect to see that accumulation. And that also will last pretty quickly from the evening time frame to the early overnight time frame Sunday. So not going to produce a ton of precipitation, but certainly could produce some slippery roads with the freezing rain possible. Now looking at the precipitation chances as we get towards next week, we'll have another chance Monday night into Tuesday, mostly in the form of rain, but maybe another wintry mix. And then towards the end of the week, we will have some better precipitation chances as well. But temperatures will be warmer at this point, and we likely will see mostly rain from those systems. So as we take a look at the 10-day forecast, the temperatures are going to warm up each and every day over the next 5 to 6 days, and then they look like they'll peak Thursday, where they could get into the lower 40s. Now again, the chances of precipitation next week will likely be mostly rainfall with these warmer temperatures, but even so, still not expecting any big systems across the region. So for tomorrow, maybe some light snow in the morning, and then for Sunday, the better chance of precipitation will be Sunday night after sunset. But we could see some of that begin in the evening time frame. Should be dry Monday night into Tuesday, and there are a chance of rain with another system moving through starting Thursday of next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jacob. Well, the Packers are trying to shake off a series of losses in regular season play, but the playoffs are in the spotlight. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde shows us how the Packers plan to play this Sunday's game.
You don't usually get to the final week of the season and need to make a bunch of introductions, but that's kind of been the case for Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. The Packers have made 15 different transactions already this week, heading into Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings in the Twin Cities. That is very unusual, but that's the situation the Packers find themselves in, with a number of injuries and a number of players they would like to hold out of Sunday's game.
It's been a week with a lot of moving parts. I mean, I don't know how else to, I've never been a part of something like this in regards to just the injuries that occurred in last game. And sometimes that's the price of doing business. And you just got to make the best of it and try to get these guys acclimated as quickly as possible. And just make the best of it.
There's still plenty of reason to watch Packers-Vikings on Sunday from US Bank Stadium. And you can watch it right here on Channel 3. Kickoff is at noon on Sunday. We'll have coverage leading into the game and of the game itself from Minneapolis on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. You can catch Sunday's game between the Pack and the Minnesota Vikings right here on Channel 3. The Vikings will host the Packers at the US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis at noon. Coming up on Live at 4, holiday return deadlines are quickly approaching. Plus, new fees could hold up how much you get back for the presents. Then the Trump administration is trying to move quickly on its White House ballroom project. President Trump is publicly defending his health as well. And we're learning more about a deadly fire in Switzerland that killed 40 people and injured over 100 more. What investigators are saying so far. And the 95-year limit for public domain is coming due on more beloved cartoon characters. How some artists are using this ownership loophole. Here's a look at the numbers on Wall Street today. The Dow picked up 319 points. The Nasdaq is down just 6. The S&P 500 is up nearly 13. We're learning more about the devastating New Year's Eve fire at a bar in the Swiss mountain town of Crans-Montana. At least 40 people have been killed in the fire and nearly 120 are hurt. Many of the victims were in their teens or their early 20s. Officials are now more firm in the theory that sparklers in champagne bottles are likely the cause of the fire. Many of those injured are in critical condition, having been flown to hospitals all over Switzerland and neighboring countries as burn units are overwhelmed. The Trump administration is trying to move quickly through the review process to get the White House ballroom project underway. Aaron Navarro is at the White House with more on that, plus what President Trump is saying today about the state of his health.
President Trump's motorcade left his Florida estate Friday morning. The White House said he stopped at a store to buy, with his own money, marble and onyx for the ballroom he's planning to have built at the White House.
It'll be the most beautiful ballroom, and it'll handle inaugurations.
The Trump administration still needs to get final approval from two boards that oversee federal construction. A White House official tells CBS News it is aiming to get the go-ahead for the controversial $400 million donor-funded project as early as March, which would clear the way for construction to start a month later. According to the National Park Service assessment, construction is expected to wrap up in the summer of 2028, less than a year before President Trump leaves office. The commander-in-chief is also defending the state of his health. In a social media post Friday, he wrote, "White House doctors have just reported that I am in perfect health," adding that he aced his cognitive examination. Meanwhile, millions of Americans now face sharp jumps in their healthcare premiums after Affordable Care Act subsidies expired January 1st.
It is $200 more than what I was paying.
Michelle Phillips of Georgia, who cares for her aging mother, says out-of-pocket costs have also gone up.
For the pharmacy was $15 for generic. It's now $25 for generic.
President Trump has long advocated for healthcare funds to go directly to individuals, not insurance companies. But the White House has yet to release a formal plan. Aaron Navarro, CBS News, the White House.
The House of Representatives is expected to vote this month on a plan to extend the government subsidies after 4 moderate Republicans joined Democrats to force a vote. The new year can bring a chance to revive some old classics. In the United States, copyright protection expires after 95 years. This year, cartoon classics plus legendary movies and art have become available. CBS's Bradley Blackburn takes a look.
The film All Quiet on the Western Front entered new territory in 2026. The 1930 Best Picture winner is now in the public domain, meaning it's no longer protected by copyright. There are other works available too, from songs like Georgia on My Mind, Georgia, to comic strips like Blondie, and original versions of some characters. Mickey's dog Pluto was initially called Rover. And when Betty Boop first popped on screen, she had dog ears.
Some of these characters change and develop over time. And so it's only the first iterations, you might want to call them Betty Boop 1.0 or Pluto 1.0, that are in the public domain.
Duke professor and intellectual property law expert Jennifer Jenkins leads a team that tracks down copyright records every year.
Looking at these works is like a time capsule, and you realize that the memory of the Roaring '20s was fresh, but we were in the midst of the Great Depression.
Classic books include The Little Engine That Could, the first 4 Nancy Drew novels, and Agatha Christie's The Murder at the Vicarage. Even the original FIFA World Cup trophy is now fair game.
What can artists and creators do with these works now that they're in the public domain?
Artists and creators can use these works in their own creations without having an army of lawyers, without having to worry about a lawsuit, without having to track down the original copyright owners.
Oh, we're birds of a different feather.
Jenkins says Access helps push art forward and generate big new ideas like Wicked, based on public domain characters from the Wizard of Oz book.
You can see the public domain all around you. It's a wellspring of creativity.
A fresh start for some classic works. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Coming up on Live at 4, Frank Drebin is back on the big screen, and now he's heading to your living room. The Naked Gun remake and more in the Loper Report. Then a massive power pole toppled near McFarland. How long it could be before traffic returns to normal. Plus, if your new Christmas clothes didn't quite fit, or maybe that electronic device doesn't work right, your deadline to return it is shrinking. But first, Jacob is back with a check of the first warn forecast. The icy new year looks like it's going to start thawing out next week.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. Susan is off today. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's take a look at the weather words. Here they are, warming up soon. Now, this is a look at Fitchburg with some ducks enjoying a non-frozen pond. Oh, they're so spoiled. Now, Jacob Montesano is here with the first warn forecast. We're looking to thaw out next week, right?
Yeah, temperatures will be a lot better than what they are right now. Still going to see another day or two of some cold temperatures, but each day will get a little bit better than the previous. And although it was cold today, it was ever so slightly warmer compared to yesterday, but barely in, or mostly in the teens, with some areas struggling to get to 20. Areas in central Wisconsin easily in the teens, and far southern Wisconsin, as I mentioned, a lot of the area still struggling to get to the 20s. And we're going to have temperatures kind of similar tomorrow, just a few degrees warmer, but still on the colder side. Now, we also are going to see some light flurries later in the night. Cloudy skies are expected to develop throughout the evening, with mostly cloudy skies all night, and then some light flurries, especially later in the night into early Saturday. Most of the area will only see about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch at most. Not going to be a big deal. In fact, some areas may not even see any snow at all. And this will clear up very quickly for Saturday, but still leave behind some cloudy skies for much of the day. Now, as we take a look at the temperatures overnight, the good news is that they will stay pretty steady, not dropping much further than what they are right now. So tomorrow morning will be a little bit better compared to this morning and yesterday morning, but still cold. And that's going to be the kind of situation tomorrow, with more cloudy skies and temperatures peaking in the middle to lower 20s. So again, a few degrees warmer than today, but then Sunday will be warmer than Saturday, and then Monday will be warmer than Sunday. So I'll talk more in detail about that warm up and show you some other precipitation chances coming up a bit later.
Thanks, Jacob. Cleanup continues after a semi crashed into a ditch near County Highway N along I-3990. This happened at about 2:30 this morning. The semi crashed into a pole at the northbound on-ramp near McFarland. The pole had fallen over onto the semi cab, trapping the driver inside. Crews shut down power to lines attached to the pole, along with that ramp and the 2 right lanes. Crews safely pulled the driver from the vehicle. Officials say the driver is in stable condition and was taken to a nearby hospital. Lane closures are expected to last through the weekend. An alternate route would be Highway 73 north up to 1218 west and back to I-3990. In the town of Christiana near Westby, nobody was hurt after a skid steer caught on fire yesterday afternoon. At about 5:20, someone called the fire department to a structure fire off of Highway 14. When the crews arrived, they found the skid steer on fire inside the building. The owner had used 2 extinguishers before crews had showed up, and the fire was put out within minutes. The structure was not damaged. A man is recovering from a shooting at a New Year's Eve party in the town of Fulton. Rock County deputies responded to a home on a cul-de-sac near Edgerton at about 2 in the morning. The victim's condition has not been released yet. Neighbors say what started as a New Year's Eve house party turned into a crime scene.
You just never know. It can happen in any neighborhood. Yeah, this is a very nice neighborhood, but they were having a big party, and I don't know what the circumstances were, but, you know, it's New Year's Eve. People were partying, having a good time until they weren't.
Rock County authorities say the scene was contained and there is no threat to the public. This investigation is ongoing. The Rock County Sheriff says a woman is facing a felony charge for driving drunk with her kids in her car. Wednesday night at about 6:30, an off-duty officer reported a car driving recklessly near North Harmony Town Hall Road. A deputy saw the car in Milton Township drive off the road and into the grass median. 2 small children were in the car. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The 25-year-old Janesville woman who was behind the wheel is now facing charges for a 3rd offense OWI with passengers under 16 years old. January is the biggest month for returns as those unwanted holiday gifts head back to retailers. Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn shares the deadlines and the new fees you should keep in mind.
Tens of millions of dollars in holiday gifts will be sent back this month, and be prepared to pay up. More than 70% of retailers are charging for returns this year, and the National Retail Federation says 17% of all holiday sales will be returned, and 82% of shoppers will return at least one unwanted gift within the month. The CEO of Happy Returns says the fees cover big costs like shipping and handling, or if the item is damaged, the fees help pay to refurbish them. He suggests to read the fine print and opt for an in-store return if possible.
It's just much less friction than having to print a label, find a box, tape it up, and wait to get your money back. And they often are the cheapest form.
Be sure you know your return windows. Big retailers like Walmart, Amazon, and Kohl's have a cutoff date of January 31st. For items bought from October through December, Best Buy has a return deadline of January 15th. Macy's is until January 31st. Target's extended holiday return policy applies to items purchased on November 1st through December 24th, and you can return those until the 24th of January, which is the same deadline as home goods. Returns for Apple and Beats products at Target have a much shorter deadline, and that's January 8th. That's next Thursday. And it applies to purchases made at Apple as well. But if you have gifts from TJ Maxx or Marshalls, you have until February 4th to return them. And if you miss a return deadline or want to avoid fees, you can always resell unwanted gifts or continue to spread the cheer with the age-old practice of regifting or swapping with a friend.
Thank you, Michelle Renee. You can follow Michelle Renee's Consumer Reports during the week or wake up with her on Saturday and Sundays anchoring weekend mornings. Next on Live at 4, we are taking one final look back at our year in news. And you know what? We wanted to end our series on a good note. We'll have a look back at all the stories that made us all feel good. And The Naked Gun is now streaming along with Cheetahs and Up Close and Ash. That's all in the Loper Report. And warmer weather is on the way. How about that? Jacob tells us about a warm-up coming up soon in the First Warn forecast. Let's give our weather satellite a spin. We don't have to go too far today. We are taking a live look at Oshkosh. The weather there is 16 degrees and mostly clear. Looks like a nice sunset too. The city on average sees about 1,000 events every year and was once known as the sawdust capital of the world due to the number of mills in the city. So in 1860, Oshkosh was home to 11 sawmills. The year that was 2025 brought us a lot of local stories we could celebrate, showing us exactly why living in the 608 is so great. Josh Spreiter has a look back at some stories that made us feel good last year.
I was lucky enough to learn about so many stories right here in this 608. People, places, and things making a positive impact. And here are some of my favorites of 2025.
It is important to make sure that you're involved in your community.
We started the year with one of our biggest and proudest campaigns, Spirit of Service, as News 3 Now partners with Vortex Optics to honor local veterans doing something good. 206 total nominations were narrowed down to 5, and viewers voted in record numbers. Megan Nolan came out on top. She's using her $5,000 award to transform a building into the only licensed before and after school program for their rural community of Rib Lake, Wisconsin.
My husband, my kids, they're huge support. I wouldn't be able to do that without them, my family, and then all of you. This is not just a little, this is huge. Thank you so much.
In the spring, we met Mr. Peanuts, an icon for the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District. Park Elementary head custodian Rodney Esser was honored for being at the district for 60 years. Looking at his memory wall, you can see just how much of a positive impact he's had on the community. Mr. Peanuts says he can't imagine life any other way.
These kids, they're all kids are different, but at the same time, they're all alike. And there's just something magic about those kids. When you go to work, give them a hug, give them a high five, they walk away smiling, stuff like that. That warms my heart.
For Dairy Month in Wisconsin, I visited the Nunn family farm to help them celebrate 125 years. Sitting on roughly 300 acres just north of Cross Plains, the memories span generations. Wes Nunn is the 5th generation farmer, living there with his wife and kids, who he hopes one day will take over the biz.
There ain't a whole lot of farms even going over 100 nowadays, and it's just nice to be part of something great.
I'm hoping to be the 6th generation. I play a lot of sports. It's hard to keep up with it all, but we do it, and I really enjoy helping my dad and other people in the summer. In my cow.
We got really lucky as far as our Stuff the Bus went.
We did. Okay.
Ahead of the school year, we put out a call for help with our Back to School drive. News 3 Now viewers came forward in record numbers, donating 800 backpacks of school supplies for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County to hand out to kids in need. 560 students set up to succeed here in the school year. We could not be more proud with that number.
We are so lucky to have such a generous community to support us this far.
Then the following month, another huge success with Coats for Kids. You made our 40th year one of the best yet, donating close to 5,000 coats, helping keep families warm this winter.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Back into the depths of the dark. Now to one of our favorite Halloween traditions, a huge display in the front yard of this home in Sun Prairie. Aaron Voken has been going out for 5 years with a different theme every October. They get hundreds of people making the walk or drive by with a bin placed in their front yard for donations to the community food pantry.
Really kind of passing that love around to, as you mentioned, people down the street and some of our inflatables, and really sharing that love, kind of lighting the yard, lighting the neighborhood. It's been a lot of fun creating things.
And then a Madison tradition going back decades now. I'm talking about the Thanksgiving Basket Drive in partnership with the Goodman Community Center. This year, News 3 Now viewers helped put a Thanksgiving dinner on the table for more than 4,000 families in the 608. Now that's what we call doing something good.
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus.
And of course, we couldn't celebrate the end of the year without the holiday season.
Where the treetops glisten.
I had the chance to catch up and listen to some of the magical sound of the Capital City Theater carolers.
Just get a bobtail nag, 240 for his speed, then hitch him to an open sleigh and crack, he'll take the lead.
So 2025 was pretty great. Let's make 2026 even better. For News 3 Now, I'm Josh Breiter.
Cheers to that. Thanks, Josh. And if you have any ideas in the 608 for Josh this year, you can either reach out to him on social media or email us at inthe608@wisctv.com for a chance to be featured. Now let's take a look at the first warn forecast. The sun was out today. Still pretty cold out there, Jacob.
Yeah, and it's going to be cold for another day to end the week with highs back in the 20s. But as I continue to talk about, these temperatures are going to slowly be warming up each and every day, and they will get fairly mild by the time we get to next week. We also will see some light precipitation this weekend, some in the form of snow, some in the form of a freezing rain mix. So let's take a look at those precipitation chances. Cloudy skies developing overnight with some flurries later in the night into tomorrow morning. Best chance will be for areas north of Madison, but still not expected to see much. Accumulation should be less than a ½ inch, and some areas may not see any snow at all. And then will be cloudy but dry for the afternoon and evening hours Saturday, and then that's going to continue into Sunday morning as well, with another round of precipitation moving in later in the day Sunday, this time in the form of snow and freezing rain, with the chance of accumulation for areas north of Madison and central and northern Wisconsin. But far southern Wisconsin, likely going to see a little too much freezing rain to produce snowfall accumulation, but obviously with the freezing rain, likely going to see some very slippery roads at times, although the precipitation is expected to begin and end very briefly. So this is not going to be produce major travel headaches, but certainly going to see some slippery conditions. Thankfully, it is at a time that the roads should be pretty empty, being Sunday evening. Now, as we get towards Monday, all that will clear up with cloudy skies returning Monday, and this is the first day that will feature those mild temperatures. So let's take a look at the temperatures. Starting starting with tonight. Lows will be in the teens, which is better compared to the lows this morning and what we saw yesterday morning. And then as we get towards tomorrow, we are going to be seeing those temperatures rising into the middle and lower 20s. So not a big difference from today, but just a few degrees warmer. We will see more cloudy skies tomorrow compared to today. But then looking at the temperature trend over the next 10 days, upper 20s Sunday, middle 30s Monday, then upper 30s to possibly lower 40s once we get towards the middle of next work week. Thursday looks to be the mildest day where we could see some areas getting close to the middle 40s. Now we will see some precipitation throughout the week. Nothing too major, although it does look like the end of the week system could produce some colder temperatures following the system. But right now we're only forecasting for highs in the upper 20s, so still a little bit better than today. And obviously a lot can change between now and then. So as we take a look at the full 7 to 10 day forecast, we are going to see another chance of rain Monday night into Tuesday, and then again Thursday. And the chance of precipitation will kind of continue for Friday and Saturday, ending as some snowfall on Saturday as those temperatures do fall. But as I mentioned, still several days out, so a lot can change between now and then. For this weekend, light flurries late tonight into Saturday morning, but most of the day should be dry, and that will be the case for Sunday, the most of the day being dry part, but the chance of precipitation rather than in the morning will be later in the day Sunday. But that precipitation will be kind of a snow to freezing rain mix. Then as we get to Monday, should be dry Monday night into Tuesday, another round of precipitation moves through. And then that last round of precipitation right now will be Thursday through the end of the week. And that last round will also drop those temperatures back down.
Thank you, Jacob. Let's take a live look at Lake Mendota, which, you know what, officially froze over yesterday. That's later than the median freeze date of December 20th, and scientists say this continues a tradition of tough-to-predict freezing. Lake Monona froze over on December 12th. More than 19,000 people tried to guess the date for the Mendota Freeze contest this year. 22 people got it right. Good job. So now the Clean Lakes Alliance will randomly pull 3 winners. When we come back, some people are starting their new year by taking a look at the stars. Why the start of this trip around the sun is attracting astronomers and their telescopes.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
A reboot of an absurd and hilarious cop franchise and a walk on the wild side. Will Loper has a look at a few of the new things streaming this weekend in the Loper Report.
Who are you?
Drebin. Detective Frank Drebin. Thanks.
Over here, Lieutenant. I think someone murdered my brother.
Please, take a chair.
Thank you.
If you're looking for laughs, check out 2025's The Naked Gun, newly streaming on Amazon Prime Video.
I'll find them. This is what I do. Says you served 20 years for man's laughter. You mean manslaughter? Must have been quite the joke.
Liam Neeson plays the son of Leslie Nielsen's Lieutenant Frank Drebin, solving new crimes with plenty of mishaps along the way.
I've always thought of cheetah as being a super fast top predator. Oh, they are flying. It turns out I've had it all wrong. The threat is just relentless here.
Take a look at nature's fastest land animal with the doc, Cheetahs Up Close with Birdie Gregory, newly streaming on Disney+.
But with a little bit of luck, these cheetahs can take on whatever the Serengeti has in store for them. Here we go.
And find out who to trust in Ash, newly streaming on Hulu.
What do you remember?
Just moments.
We need answers.
The 2025 sci-fi film finds Raya, played by Isa Gonzalez, waking up on a distant planet with her crew dead, and one man, played by Aaron Paul, sent to rescue her.
Something is not adding up.
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
Well, the new year is kicking off with a couple of big celestial events. The first is a wolf moon, which will grace the sky this weekend. The wolf moon is 2026's first supermoon, which generally indicates a full moon that's closer than normal to Earth and seems larger and brighter in the sky. The full moon's light will make it harder to see the second event, the quadrantid meteor shower. The meteor shower will reach peak activity tomorrow evening. Astronomers say the shower will be active through January 16th. A couple of things to look forward to. That wolf moon should be pretty nice.
Yeah, whenever I hear stuff like this about, the sky's gonna be beautiful tonight, I'm always like, I should check it out, and then never do.
Yeah, I'm kind of guilty of the same. You can always see photos of it on social media. So.
Yeah, plus you gotta get out to like some of the rural areas to see it best, and it's like, do you really want to wake up at like 1 in the morning to go do that?
No,
so it's
no.
But yeah, I hope we can see some pictures of that for sure.
Yeah, well, it's been cold if you are doing any stargazing out there.
Yeah, it's going to be cold for at least one more day, still on the chillier side for Sunday as well. But take a look at the temperatures next week, upper 30s, lower 40s. And as I've been saying, here in Wisconsin, those upper 30s to lower 40s are frankly warm to us. So it certainly will feel a lot better. We also will see a few chances of precipitation, light snow possible later tonight, some snow, freezing rain mix later Sunday evening and Sunday night. Monday night into Tuesday, we could also see some precipitation, then also Thursday, as you can see. But right now, nothing too big. That end of the week system next week could produce a decent amount of rainfall and also may cool the temperatures down for the following weekend. But no alert days in the forecast, and at this point in time, we're not expecting any big snows for sure. So, once we get to those warmer temperatures, relatively, comfortable and quiet conditions, at least for a few days before we see those temperatures drop again.
Yeah, let's keep it quiet as we ease into this new year.
I'm with you on that.
All right, we're back with a look at what we're working on for News 3 Now at 5 right after this. Coming up at 5, your furniture shopping could cost slightly less, along with your groceries, after President Trump steps back on a handful of tariffed products. And the Real ID system is taking a stronger effect in the U.S. How to get a proper ID and what the penalty could be without it. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We'll see you back here on Monday. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts next.